Nature always holds unpredictable, destructive power. From hurricanes and floods to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, let's explore the most terrifying disasters ever caught on camera. Join us on this journey of discovery. The ground shakes as mud erupts like a waking beast. The mud volcano bursts and flames rise high, creating a mysterious scene. Anyone who witnesses this moment will never forget it. A sudden summer storm strikes Sydney Harbor, bringing hail that falls onto the water, creating shimmering ripples. The city is engulfed in a fierce dance between nature and humanity, chaotic, yet strangely beautiful. A woman steps onto the street early in the morning, letting the biting cold wind whip around her, but she doesn't let it slow her down. On the snow-covered road, she sways to the rhythm of the rock song playing in her headphones, moving like an artist performing on an ice rink. Which one will win? A house is not just a place to live. It needs someone to breathe life into it. A remarkable woman who brings laughter and warmth and turns a cold space into a proper home. A person walks along the road looking around confused. What is happening here? I dream of finding peace with my loved ones, leaving worries behind on the shore, where beautiful seagulls soar. A single rock shifts on the border of China and Kyrgyzstan, triggering a chain reaction beyond imagination. More than 4,000 tremors follow, culminating in powerful earthquakes. On the 24th floor of a high-rise in Japan, people stand helplessly as the ground shakes beneath them. The Japanese are accustomed to earthquakes, but today is different. Authorities act swiftly, urging citizens to evacuate coastal areas in anticipation of a tsunami. However, Japan's disaster preparedness proves remarkable. As the tremors cease, train stations remain intact, and even their signage stands firm, a testament to human resilience against nature's fury. San Sebastian, a paradise for fearless surfers. Waves soaring up to 5.5 meters do not deter them, but when a tsunami looms, even the bravest dare not challenge the ocean's wrath. Meanwhile, in Bahia, tourists captured the raging waters from a safe distance. In Italy, entire coastal villages succumbed to the power of the waves, leaving only remnants of what once stood. Another Italian city faces its calamity. Cars parked near the shore vanish as a sudden storm surges inland, sweeping away everything in its path. The Derecho storm, a monster carrying devastating power, sweeps across multiple U.S. states. Winds reach speeds of 110 kilometers per hour, accompanied by torrential rain and massive hailstones that hammer everything in their path. morning after the storm, as the storm subsides, residents step outside to find their hometowns unrecognizable. Streets have disappeared, roofs have been torn away, and the serenity of yesterday is now just a memory. Hailstorms are not unusual, but when ice the size of tennis balls crashes from the sky, smashing windows and denting cars, it becomes a catastrophe. After the devastating hailstorm in Kansas and Missouri, vehicles are left mangled, windshields shattered, creating a scene reminiscent of a battleground. To the unknowing observer, it might look like an attack rather than a weather event. Even for longtime residents, this was a shock unlike any other. In Mexico, a similar hailstorm descends, but with an added ferocity, turning it into a nightmare. Is that a snowstorm? Everyone was also amazed. Fiery red lava snakes through the pristine white snow, forming a striking contrast, a breathtaking yet terrifying sight, as if the fires of hell have descended upon an untouched paradise. It seems he is hesitating between paying attention to the person in front of him and taking the risk, but if it were me, safety would always be the top priority.
Wow!
China, where high-speed trains glide smoothly like a miracle of technology. They look like masterpieces created by artists. A massive cloud of ash from the Kia volcano eruption in Hawaii rises, swallowing the sky. The event happened in the blink of an eye. A large ship suddenly sank completely at the dock. The scale of such scenes varies, but in southern China, a monstrous sandstorm emerges. With winds driving sand at 15 meters per second, a colossal dust wall engulfs everything in its path. The cameraman capturing the moment must have felt like he was inside a post-apocalyptic movie. Sometimes sinkholes and floods combine to form massive chasms. No one can predict how fast they will expand, so anyone nearby should flee immediately to avoid the unknown perils ahead. Ferocious winds sweep across the desert, lifting grains of sand high into the air. Depending on the wind's strength, vast amounts of dust are carried skyward, creating dense clouds that obscure the sun. Avalanches in the mountains are expected, but when they block entire highways, the situation turns dire. This was no isolated event. Nearly 50 roads were buried at the same time, bringing transportation to a standstill. Ferocious winds sweep across the desert, lifting grains of sand high into the air. Depending on the wind's strength, vast amounts of dust are carried skyward, creating dense clouds that obscure the sun. Avalanches in the mountains are expected, but when they block entire highways, the situation turns dire. This was no isolated event. Nearly 50 roads were buried at the same time, bringing transportation to a standstill. The scale of such scenes varies, but in southern China, a monstrous sandstorm emerges. With winds driving sand at 15 meters per second, a colossal dust wall engulfs everything in its path. The cameraman capturing the moment must have felt like he was inside a post-apocalyptic movie. At Baylor, Aurora, the storm was so strong that it lifted everything, even a glass panel that flew straight toward the cameraman. Luckily, no one was injured. When nature rages, the best way to stay safe is to remain indoors. A bridge stretches across a great river, standing firm against many challenges. But can it last forever, or will it eventually fall into a storm in the future? Avalanches in the mountains are expected, but when they block entire highways, the situation turns dire. This was no isolated event. Nearly 50 roads were buried at the same time, bringing transportation to a standstill.